what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. Let's get into LSU and Texas A&M thoughts. Obviously, there's a lot of frustration in this game at some points in the first half, and maybe they still did. You don't know, right? But in the first half, it felt as if the defense was actively pumping the bellows and smelting Jayden Daniels Heisman in front of our eyes as a complete inability to get off the field led to very limited opportunity for Jayden and this offense. However, by game's end, what do champions do, or Heisman winners? You know, what do the best players do? They find a way to take over. And if you look at the fourth quarter of this game, it is the perfect encapsulation of why this offense has been so amazing, so fantastic, and so much fun to watch this year as Jayden and the receivers just absolutely took over. I mean, the throw and catch to Brian Thomas, the throw and catch to Malik Nabers, the throw and catch to Kyron Lacey, the ball placement on all three, just stellar, stupendous, magnificent, placed right on the outside where only the receiver could make the play. However, not easy plays to make, and the receivers, one and all, bring them down with body control, clear possession, feet in bounds. Again, go rewatch LSU's offense in that fourth quarter and just recognize, appreciate what we had this year, because it was all on display, and it was absolutely, it was jaw-dropping and just so enjoyable, especially when you had to wake up the next day and, suffer through what you did on Sunday. Really appreciate the beauty of that offense Saturday morning.
It's really the tale of two sides of the football, obviously, here, but it was a weird feeling because you felt like if the defense just held them to a field goal when you were down 3, don't let them score a touchdown. You can give them points. That's fine. Hold them to 3, make it a 6-point game because the offense is going to score.
Yeah.
And it's such a weird feeling, feeling like your defense, just don't be awful. Mm-hmm. Just be bad. Don't be awful. Just be bad. And your offense is going to take care of you. That's the feel that I had in the stadium the entire time. Just limit them just one possession. Now, they ended up, doing a really nice job, 3 straight series where they get them off the field. There's no points. And obviously you take the game over. But it was hey, just hold them to a field goal, and the offense will take care of it.
I'm still not even going to give them the second half. Now, we will celebrate the big moments because there were a couple big moments, but I'm going to be like Memphis in that video you sent where the defense finally came up with a stop, and Jake's youngest did not join the crowd in cheering because he's a discerning football fan, and he knew that, okay, good, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And if you screw it up 9 times, forgive me if I'm not excited on attempt number 10.
Yeah.
But
he was not very happy with the defense on Saturday.
Well, and the thing is, even after rewatching this film, I'll celebrate some of the moments in the second half, and Greg Pinn's story in this game in particular is interesting. With 7 minutes left, you still let A&M score in 4 plays to make it 35-31.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which I would, the abused logic that us LSU fans have now this season is we're all at Don Juan and we're okay, that means Jayden that means the offense has to go score. So more stats for Jayden. And sure enough, it ended up being that, even though, the Kyron Lacey holding call was an absolute disaster and an offense to God and man, but we can get there a bit later on.
Would have added 45 more yards to Malik's total.
And it was an incredible block by Kyron Lacey. He kept his feet moving, hands inside, and then he just threw the dude out the club, threw him out the club. Absolute cowardice on that holding call from the ref. But anyway, so no, the defense was what it's been all year long. It was really bad. You're talking about a third-string quarterback on a bad offense that absolutely carved you up. And once again, Jake, because all too often this year, this has been the way to ingest this defensive film, is there's actually a lot of good on first and second down.
Yeah.
They created a lot of negative plays. Now, far too often on second and long, they let it get the third and manageable, but still, the third down woes are so simple and mind-boggling and consistently bad that it just frustrates the senses. I mean, the soft coverage where you just allow the receiver every single time to set up right at the sticks before you start breaking. I just do not understand it. On fourth down, you got consistently pushed around. One of the more frustrating moments in the first quarter, you have a 4th-and-1 run stuff. Looks like you got it. You have 4 guys celebrating, holding up their hands when the play is still going on. The entire A&M team's pushing the pile. Yeah. They end up pushing across for a first down. So the problems are many. They're all over the place. But it was putrid on third down.
And honestly, if you would have said A&M ran for 240 yards and their backs kind of had success that day against A&M, I'd have been like, okay, I can truly believe that, and it wouldn't be that hard to imagine that. But like, you actually did a nice job of stopping A&M on the ground, but it's yet again in coverage, just you look lost. And so many times it's, the 10 guys playing one coverage, one guy playing another. It's like the LSU special this year. And that happened for a big play and one of those big third downs that you're talking about. And so it's a situation that never got fixed. And now you're going into a bowl game. That part of it is what it is, but it never really got fixed. And even in this game, he said that, BK said that they played something different. They played, I think it was cover 2 trail at the end of the game, something they haven't done all season long. And, it worked, I guess. I mean, you got them off the field, but it's like, why were you not playing those things throughout the season? Why were you being, a team that only played quarters in cover 3 and never really made any adjustments there? Because you weren't good in quarters in cover 3.
And anytime you have such a very clear area which you need to improve and you fail to over the course of an entire season, it's the same way that we're going to talk about this Saints offense in the red zone and whatnot. Look, in the first half, you got off the field once, and it was on a drop 4th and 2 in which the crosser was wide open. Probably should have been about a 20-yard gain and a conversion. After that.
That was number 42. And that's when my oldest son looked over to me and said, if 42 makes a play today, we're in trouble. And, well, he made a play later in the game.
And so I was pretty sure Katie got pregnant for a 6th time as soon as a fullback scored a 51-yard touchdown. You've heard of Franco's immaculate reception. That would have been the immaculate conception.
Yeah.
Right there. I was shocked when I learned that was not the case. Look, you had that 4th and 2 drop, but outside of that, you let A&M convert 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 4th and 1, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 4th and 1, 3rd and 3. And that last 3rd and 3 came with 21 seconds left in the half, trying to come up with a gotta-have-it stop so you don't let them double up on touchdowns. You would go on to start the second half by adopting a new strategy, and on that first touchdown drive in the second half, you just didn't force a third down. Because if you don't force a third down, then they can't convert it.
Very true.
Again, so the point is to not be overly negative here, but the point is to reinforce that, that significantly hurt Jayden's chances at that moment. And I said, I tweeted something along those lines, and a lot of outside voices were like, oh, they're hitting me with screenshots of Jayden's first half stats, or the offense punted. And I mean, if you can engage or understand the limited opportunity that he had because of all those conversions and time of possession and everything else, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, the LSU offense didn't get to touch the ball the last 5 minutes of the first half, or the last 5 minutes, or the first 5 minutes of the second half. So you had 10 minutes where the LSU offense didn't get to do anything. 10 minutes of game time, they didn't get to do anything except for sit there and watch the score go from 14-10 to 24-14. And so, you took away raw stats from Jayden, but what you did, and I don't think anybody's going to engage in this from a national voter sense, but in my mind, what you did was you gave him a stage to prove himself. And that he did. He went out there in a gotta-have-it game, season on the line, first 2 years of Brian Kelly on the line, and he took over, and the receivers took over, And the offensive line, which was fantastic, took over, and you end up winning a big game against a hated rival, and you win it by a nice margin in the end. You finish 9-3, and it's 4 more touchdowns through the air at the end of the day for Jayden Daniels.
Yeah, time of possession, to your point, to go back. I mean, almost 37 minutes to 23 minutes. I mean, they completely dominated. They had, the one long drive there in the first half as well. Would it take like 9 minutes?
17-play drive. I think it was around 9 minutes, but 17 plays is the longest in the last 9 years of Texas A&M football. And guys, again, this is an inept Texas A&M offense that had their third-string quarterback playing. And I feel awful about this. In my brain, for some reason, I named him Dylan Sutherland, and I still can't remember his real name.
Wait.
I've watched the entire game film, and I see still just Dylan Sutherland in my mind.
Jalen Henderson.
Same syllables.
But I like the other name better.
Same syllables. You let Jalen Henderson, the third-string quarterback, carve you up, and on 3rd and long, carve you up. So...
transfer from Fresno State. I mean, he's an older guy, but
he looked really good. I mean, he played great.
Hasn't played a lot of football. So, look, the defense did you no favors. They did get you the 3 stops, which got you the ball back, allowed you to take the lead. But you were going to have to be perfect yet again on offense. And this offense in the second half was yet again perfect.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. I mean, you mentioned it. The offensive line played incredibly well. In a day where you didn't have success running the ball with the running backs. Well, it was Jayden Daniels yet again with his legs. And then some of those passes that he threw into the corner of the end zone. Oof. I mean, put them where only his guy can make a play. Those are Sunday throws, and he made them the 3 different receivers, right? I mean, that's what's so impressive. I mean, he put it where 3 different guys can go up there and grab it. So it's kind of the story of LSU season, this game, right? I mean, in the wins, the defense did just enough to be able to hold them off long enough for the offense to do what they do. In the games that LSU lost, the defense wasn't able to do that. Certainly in the Ole Miss and Alabama losses.
True. Now, as Brian Kelly pointed out after the game, 7-0 in Tiger Stadium this year. I believe now 13-1 over 2 years. That's a very good thing to carry forward. That was something that there was always a lot of emphasis on back in our day as well, about holding serve at home. And
I think we lost 2 games at home my career.
Yeah, I don't know the full number over 5 years, but I know my last 2 years we went undefeated, and that was something that we always really cherished, right? That if you bought a ticket to watch us in Death Valley, that you never saw them lose. And this season, if you bought a ticket to watch them in Death Valley, you did not see them lose, and there's something to be said for that. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.